What is up, YouTube? We are back with a Lash play-by-play, but it's not going to be live. We're actually going to be watching back a Lash gameplay that I had recently on stream. And I'm just going to try and explain everything, my thought process, why I'm doing what I'm doing, explain some combos, what you should be doing as this character. Because I have to do this like in review, basically, because I'm still not the best at this game. And this will allow me, there's a lot of things you have to stay on top of in Deadlock, so this is kind of allow me to explain some stuff while also trying to try a bit hard in the game itself. So I'll explain everything. Hopefully it'll help some of you guys out there trying to get better. And it's also good for me just so I can watch back my game a little bit. It's always good to do that and see where you made mistakes and try and get more discipline, develop good habits. Speaking of which, this is something you can do in mid lane as Lash, is you can climb up on top of this tower if you use some wall bounces just to threaten the ground strike year one. Now, I ended up not getting it because they were aware, the Paradox and the Infernus were both kind of like playing aware that I was going for it. But that still develops like a lot of pressure in the lane. Like they have to play back. Paradox is staring at me instead of hitting the wave. And then we get a wave under tower. And we're already, getting prio on this in this lane as Dynamo Lash, which honestly, Dynamo Lash versus Infernus Paradox, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably pretty close, but we probably should get it just because we have that pressure. You can do this as Lash in all the lanes. You can do it in in this lane, both the towers on each side of the lane you can do it at. But you can also do it in yellow. You can climb up on, if you're on the right side, that is. If you're on the hidden king side, you can climb up the rope and do it. And then on green side, you can do it if you're on the Archmother side. So kind of depends a little bit. So getting a little bit of pressure here. So we both buy headshot booster. I'm laning with the Dynamo and I'm Lash as well. So headshot booster is kind of nice on me, but it's even better when you're laning with the Dynamo because Dynamo is going to give us some guaranteed procs of it with his knockups if he's able to connect them. But it's also just good on Lash because it's kind of like, Lash 1 is sort of like a mini Dynamo 1. We're going to knock him up and get a free headshot booster proc. So I missed out on a minion there, but it's all good. But two headshot boosters. Now Paradox usually gets a headshot booster as well. Headshot booster is just like a really good lane poke item. We get a nice flog off there to hit the tower and the Paradox. I always tell people one of the most important things for laning and winning lanes is getting a lot of bang for your buck. And what I mean by that is hitting both the enemy laners and the wave, or maybe the tower, or maybe both the laners at the same time. Just getting a lot of value out of each use of your ability. So if you're able to hit the minions plus them, you get value. Tower plus them, all that kind of thing. So the more you're able to do that, the better. Now it is 2 minutes, past 2 minutes in the game. So our small has spawned. That spawns at 2 minutes. And once you clear it, it respawns every minute, 30 seconds. And this also means the boxes are all going to be spawning. So usually you want to do some boxes after the 2 minutes is up, or as we've reached the 2 minute mark. Dynamo's doing some boxes as well, so we're doing a little bit. Unluckily, I didn't get anything from those, but just to stay on top of farm, I always tell people, talked about it in a recent video in a guide, you always want to be doing something, and that something was doing a little bit of boxes and doing the spawn camp. Paradox was 1 HP there. Now, the one way to counter Infernus, especially with his dash, is get verticality. Now, the thing about Lash is he's all about verticality. This is the original DLC character. You're just always on the skybox. So that's really good as far as countering Infernus. But just even in any of your lanes, just make sure you're not just sitting in the Infernus snail trail. Maybe play on top of the bridge, jump over it, get on. There's like usually these like tiny little statues that you can stand on in each lane. Don't just, follow him in his snail trail, kind of get some verticality and all that. We see that we get pressure on this wave, and their laners actually rotated to yellow for some reason. So they're losing a wave to tower right now. It's taking the tower. And we decided to cut them off as well because Paradox was quite low. They get a lot of damage on us, and Infernus actually getting some good damage off. This Paradox decided to sit in the bush. We probably would have killed her either way, she walked away because I just had my 2 up, but we ended up fighting with this Rem. Now, I probably could have gotten out, but that's just not how I am. Like, I'm always going to try and trade my life to get another kill. We were able to get the kill on the Rem. I die for it, but that's all right. Like I said, that's just the type of player I am, and trying to push the limits. And sometimes it's for the worse, but we learn in the process. So yeah, so we're kind of now like decently ahead. As far as the Paradox, we're ahead, but we're kind of even with the Infernus. I'll try and push them off our tower. You don't really ever want them sit at your tower. Plus, we have a double wave pushing into us, so if we can push them off a little bit, I'll have a double heal minion, and I'll just be chilling. That's kind of what happens. So we just sit in our tower. We're gonna have to deal with this big wave. The thing about it in Deadlock is minions do a lot of damage to the tower. I'm really not sure what this Infernus was thinking here, what he was trying to get away with. The Dynamo was quite low, so he's trying to look for a play on him. But, if you just play it slow, the thing is Lash is always going to have another ability come back up. And so our 1 comes back up, when you're able to chase, when you're able to get the kill. We get our ult off it, but we die to the Paradox. But again, I'm always making that trade for my life. I talked about it in the game, but just for my own ego, you gotta make that play. But We are have our extra charge, Mystic Burst, and extra Spirit. We do a lot of damage in our combo. We're going to be rushing our Spirit investment. Apart from the Headshot Booster, we're going to be just going 4 Spirit items. Those 4 Spirit items are extra Spirit, Mystic Burst, extra charge, and Quicksilver Reload. And then improved Spirit, rather. So that's 2 1600 items and 2 800 Spirit items. And that'll get us our Spirit investment. And that is a huge power spike for Lash. So now I rotate over to blue because we have some pressure blue, or rotate over to green because we have some pressure blue. And I thought that the Apollo would have his parry down just because they were fighting there for a while. And, you know, it's usually a long cooldown unless you put points into it. I think it's like a 21 or 22 second cooldown. So I thought Apollo might have his ult or his parry down. So I looked for the soul ult on him. He ends up parrying it. Kind of unlucky. Probably misplayed by me. I should probably just be a little bit more patient. Just go on and maybe force that out and then Lash ult him back in. But, you know, sometimes you get a little trigger happy and it ends up biting you in the butt. So should probably have just been a bit more patient there, but it's all good. Just good to roam on Lash. And whenever you're playing blue lane, and you're especially when you're playing a roaming character, just applying pressure in the other lanes, especially if you've already established some dominance in your lane and got some pressure. And by pressure, I just mean like you're pushing the wave towards their tower, they're playing back. They're not getting prio to rotate to the jungle or to the side lanes. Whenever you get that kind of pressure in that prio, you should try to use it, especially as a roaming character. And Lash is very good at roaming and rotating around the map. If there was a jungle in this game, Lash would probably be one of the top tier junglers if that was ever a role, just because he's so good at running around. You basically always have a 2-up. We have a lot of pressure just diving the tower. Our Holiday is here as well, and these guys are low. So we decide to go in a little bit. The thing about Lash is, like, if you have extra charge plus 1 point in your 2, you're always going to have a 2-up to engage, to disengage. I stick around because the Infernus was low, and I listen for him on the zipline. Audio cues are very important in this game. People really underestimate them. So I try to get a nice combo on him, and I am able to. If you just go up into the air and get a nice vertical one-off plus headshot proc plus a 3, once you have your Spirit investment, it can do like 80% of people's HP, unless they have like a ton of greens or anything. Again, another silly play. Just that was honestly dumb. Dynamo was going in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go in with you as Max Panic Cat. And I was like, but no, I told him I was a troll play either way. I was just dicking around, but we do have our Spirit investment now, so this is where we hit a huge power spike. I look over in green lane, and they're struggling real hard, even though we try to apply like a little bit of pressure, a little bit of help, get to some ganks. So this is like a good thing to learn from, just for myself, but for everybody. Usually you want to play towards your strong lanes. Like going towards the lanes that are already like getting owned is really not ideal. This tower is going to die at some point. It's not really, it's just going to be up to them just because they're so far ahead and they have a lot of control over this lane. So you usually want to play towards your strong side and not towards your weak side. You can't really ever save a weak side lane unless they're really not that far behind and they're doing something really stupid like diving towards the walker. Like maybe then you can save them. But if they're playing pretty disciplined, like the enemies, that is, they're playing really disciplined and really far ahead, then it's really not ideal to go over there. And that's a mistake I make here. I kind of just sit in this lane, not really making anything happen. Instead of going like bullying further the blue lane or helping yellow lane because their towers, they're about to kill the tower, probably kill those guys over there. Instead, I kind of come over here and just stalemate, try to help a lane to stalemate, but then I'm just like insta dying to those guys. So honestly, very bad play by me. And I should just trying to be playing towards our strong side here. And honestly, at the end of the day, like Venator, this tower is going to die. He should just chill, try and AFK farm for a while in that side lane, just play towards his walker. We'll help out when we can. Like I go straight back here because they are kind of making a silly play now and I have ult. I'm unlucky and not able to get all three. One gets out of line of sight. The other one uses Apollo. Apollo uses his parry. So I don't hit him. But I get the silver and we get the kill on him. And he's quite ahead. So that's good. And we just kind of have to survive at this point. So the reason we do go back there at this point, I don't think this was a bad play. It's just because they're kind of being silly. So the thing is, this Paradox is actually doing well. Even though she's about 2k behind us and she kind of got owned in lane, she's actually playing towards her strong side. So kind of doing a better job of that than I was here. Apollo misses his ult. We're chilling. Just have to play back. They're going to have all the pressure over here. Whenever you are in a lane like this and you have no pressure, just play towards your structure. Like look at the map, look at like the line of scrimmage, if you will. See where the waves are meeting and everything. You kind of want them to meet more towards your side because you can't really play as far up. You're going to be an easier gank, especially when you're already behind. And when you are trying to farm up when you're behind, you're probably going to do a lot of jungle, so you'll probably have some unsecured. So just kind of play towards your side and just kind of constantly stare at the map, see what you need to do. So I helped out probably way too much over there, but we did what we could. I buy Healbane and extra stamina, so our next investment is going to be our green investment, just so I can roam a lot and have a lot of sustain. Healbane's very good for roamers. Gives us spirit power, which is really good on Lash, but it's also just very good in general because we're going to be roaming, getting kills, and those heal on kills we're going to help a lot in our little skirmishes. Very, very strong. Also, they just anti-heal is always good in this game, but it's good this game. Victor, Rem, Apollo heals a lot, Silver heals a lot, Infernus heals a lot. Like it's just always good. We run over here because it's up at 10 minutes. So 5 minutes, every 5 minutes, the buffs are going to spawn. We're at 10 minutes. So another buff is going to spawn. Silver just gives this up for free. And then I just kind of shoot at her, just trolling this. It's literally meaningless. But I don't know why she gave that up for free. So these are going to be like your important things as you play a Deadlock game that you have to worry about are going to be your buff spawns. You're going to be like your Sinner spawns, your Urn spawn. That's going to be at 10 minutes. That always spawns at 10 minutes, no earlier. So that's something to think about. We go back over to green because they are getting a little aggressive once again. I sadly missed my one on that Apollo. If I hit that, he might even be dead because look how much damage we can do with our investment bonuses. They end up showing 3, actually 4 here. They're showing 4 on this lane. Inventor is surviving for a while. So they're showing 4 here. I got to calm that to my team so they can make a play elsewhere on the map, get aggressive, be proactive, and just chill under the walker because of that. Try to see if I could help. Wasn't happening. Nobody else is rotating over here, so it could be good if like other people rotate because we do have some leads elsewhere. Like if Dynamo came over, maybe the Holiday rotated over and we get a nice Holiday ult under tower. But if it's just going to be me trying to help the Venator, nothing much is going to happen. But at the end of the day, like we still are keeping our walker safe. It's not really taking any damage. We're getting our waves pushed. I'm soaking waves in the meantime, so it's not the end of the world. But ideally, I should be roaming a little bit more at this point in the game. But yeah. So we're gonna get our green investment with Superior Stam or whatever it's called. What is it called? I think it's called Superior Stam. No, Stamina Mastery. Yeah, Stamina Mastery plus Heal Bane. That's gonna be 4,800. So that's our green investment, and then we're gonna get our weapon investment with Headhunter plus Mystic Shot. I personally think this is the best Lash build you can go right now. It's very versatile. It's very good. Makes your gun hit a little bit hard, especially off your combos. That's early Spirit investment rush is super nice. Just crazy power spike that does a lot of damage. And of course, getting all 3 investments is just like you just become Thanos at that point. It's very, very good. This character is good with all of it. So this Silver's getting aggressive. We're just roaming back to blue, trying to keep our Guardian alive. I don't mind. You should never mind solo ulting people as Lash in the mid game, especially as Silver, who's just like so. Silver's entire identity is literally pushing the limit and like diving super hard. So if you're able to negate that, then you might as well. Let me chase out the Rem as well. A Rem who's alone is a sitting duck, a sitting rat, if you will. I've actually ulted the Silver a few times, funny enough. But yeah, we got our we got our green investment there as well now. So that's Stamina Mastery plus an extra charge on the 2 with a point in it. Plus our green investment. It's very, very hard to kill Lash and very hard to lock him down if you just have decent movement. Speaking of which, a nice little rollout from blue to the vent to try and go help green lane. We don't want to be giving up walkers for free. And even if this lane is the weak lane, they can make stupid plays by over-aggressing and pushing too hard if they go towards the walker and everything. So we get the wave pushed out, get it, soak that wave, and then clear the jungle in the meantime. Just always be doing something. You can do this a lot as Lash. When you're clearing jungle, you can get some height because the more height you get with your 1, the more damage it's going to do. So it can be a little bit efficient if you get a little bit of height before you clear a camp with that, instead of just walking up to it and wanting it. So yeah, once you get that build online, the 3 investments is what I'm talking about. Once you get that, you can kind of just go to Spirit from there, or maybe a little bit more green. Kind of depends on the game. If they have a lot of knockdowns on Lash, you can just like rush Unstoppable, so you can get big ults off. Otherwise, you can go like into a Spirit Burn. Spirit Burn's a very good damage item, a very good utility item as well because of the anti-heal. You're going to apply that in AoE a lot of the time. And again, this game especially, it's going to be good. Victor, Apollo, yada, yada, yada. Although Victor can pretty easily cleanse the Spirit Burn because of his 2 max. It's still just going to be good AoE, anti-heal. Go back to blue here, just kind of going back between the lanes, using movement, using the vents on the map to stay active. We're just going back and forth, looking to see what we need to do to help out. You're kind of like they call it like hovering. You're like hovering lanes. You're hovering your side lanes to see if they need help. Right there, we were looking to kill the Apollo, who was 1 HP, and he went to this vent. I barely didn't get him with the 1, but it's still nice. It's always satisfying hitting your 1 through the secret shop hole. But yeah, I was just like, that's why I was sitting there in mid, because Apollo was 1 HP and I thought he might come up to their side through the rope, and he never did. But no problem. Just constantly looking at the map as well. Like we're just looking at the map, 2 showing blue, and we can use the vent to get some height and get a nice combo off. See how much damage that can do. There's just so much pressure. Like they're having to sit under their blue walker. We have 4 nearby. That's also something we need to be looking at the map for. You never really want to make an aggressive play if you don't have the people hovering, or you don't have the power play, if you will, like the extra people nearby. But we're fine. Like if they want to end up fighting this, with our lead, the Dynamo and I have, we're going to be perfectly fine with trying to take that. Sadly, we aren't able to kill this. A lot of times you can burst down to silver before she gets her transformation off. If you can, you should try. Sadly, we weren't able to get it off, but I'm able to get a 2-man ult off again on the silver. I barely missed the rem with my one. Sadly, we might have been able to kill both there if I hit that. But we get the kill. We chill. I get a nice headhunter proc on this Apollo, and I'm full HP, remember. The thing about Lash at this point, when you have a couple of points in your 3 and your 1, is you're like, if you just buy yourself some time, you're going to get a lot of rotations of your kit off. So that's what I'm able to do. I'm going to get some headhunter procs, get some 3 or flog plus 1 procs. And, I mean, these guys are just dead. Not really much they can do, especially with the lead that we have on them. So we end up getting 3 off of that. They kind of like win in 1 by 1 as well. They did, like, if they had taken us on like 4v2, 4v3, or even 4v4, like in a real skirmish, like they could have done something, but they go 1 and 1. I get heal bane procs each time as well. Speaking of that heal bane from earlier, helping out in skirmishes, we get a heal bane proc each time, and I mean the rest is history. Plus headhunter sustain, so just a lot of rotations and a lot of sustain throughout it. So we get a lot of souls off that. And go to their secret because I'm not really too scared. Go Mystic Shot for that weapon investment. We actually go Warpstone here. Warpstone, it's just really good in general, especially on movement characters. It can allow you to reposition like instantly, which is really nice on Lash, especially like say we grapple over them and we want to get like right on top of like a few people so we can get a nice ult off. That's big. You get a little bit more height as well so that our 1 can do more damage. Sadly, 7 comes to help me out when I probably didn't need it, but it was nice of him to help me out, but he dies for it. I'm just never like, as Lash, like you can get out a lot of sticky situations. I always tell people like this character he's got a high skill ceiling, but for how much you can do, just like base level, his skill floor is really not that high. Like it is kind of absurd. Like see, like right here, like my movement isn't that insane here. I warp stone away, then I 2 over the minion and get away from the like. That's pretty silly in my opinion. They need sowing hexes and stuff to counter me for sure, but at the end of the day ends. But also, this character, I think his skill floor is too low for how much he can do. Definitely a hard character at the highest level for sure, though. But we were able to get out of that. Dynamo died for me as well, so 7 and Dynamo died for me. But like, if you have a Lash that's playing like this in your own games, like just let him die if he's gonna die. But a lot of times he won't because he just get out of a lot of situations he otherwise wouldn't have, unless they have slowing hexes and knockdowns and all this crap. So yeah, it's something you can go unstoppable if they do something like that to help you, or debuff remover as it's called now, dispel magic. That can help, especially for the knockdowns and the slowing hexes. We're just trying to make plays. We have a lead. A lot of people like to play, like safe and stuff, but we're trying to make plays happen. That's how you win a game at the end of the day. Like it's not by surviving. It's not by having a good KDA or having the most farm. It's by making things happen on the map and getting rewards off of it, right? So we're trying to make a play because we can get away with a lot here. Maybe bait a nice fight. Maybe we can get a nice ult off, but it's super separated. As you can just stare at the map. I'm hitting Apollo who's back there. Dynamo's back there. Holiday's running over towards blue. They're kind of grouped up, and I'm kind of like hovering because I might be able to get a nice ult off. They end up getting slowing hex by this Paradox. That's why we use a heavy melee to get up to the top of this roof. That's a nice little tip. Just try and use your heavy melees for a little bit of movement while you're slowing hexed. Try and get a nice combo off, but this silver's pretty tanky. I'm not able to do much. See, that Warpstone's really nice. Warpstone's also very good against Paradox because she's going to have a max wall, which silences you. And you actually can't... the silence doesn't work against Warpstone, so you can still Warpstone during that. So if I end up getting ulted, I can just Warpstone past and use that to buy time. End up getting a nice ult off. So this is actually pretty bad by me. I threw him back down towards their side, and I should have just thrown him more towards my team. The problem is I thought like maybe if I like threw him out in the open, it'd be a little bit better as opposed to throwing him down in between this like bridge and their side of blue lane. And they may not have a line of sight on him. So I thought throwing him out in the open would be a bit better, but honestly, I should have just thrown him back there. That's something I do sometimes. Sometimes Lash is actually one of my most played characters. I wouldn't say he's one of my best, but he's definitely one of my most played. And sometimes I still will throw them in bad spots for my ult. So we end up killing one and we get the Yellow Walker. We're just like basically creating chaos. And I like to, what we used to say in Smite and scrims and stuff is jerking him off. Like I'm just jerking him off so that my team can do objectives and stuff. And the Ven who was behind has now just solo killed a Walker, so he's going to get a lot of souls off that. He's back in the game, even though he and his lane were like 0 and 10 at the beginning of the game. But yeah, at the end of the day, we probably could have killed them if I just threw them out into a better spot. So next up, we're going to be going Superior Cooldown. So you could go just straight into the Spirit Burn here. I like to go cooldown personally. I just love spamming and getting more ults off. And, you know, all these skirmishes, just having more 1-2-3s up is just crazy. Because every time I can get a nice combo off, it's almost like a guaranteed kill. So if I can do that more often, the better. So yeah, we're going to go into the Spirit cooldown and then probably go into that Spirit Burn. Reverb is really good right now as well. So those are kind of like your 3 quintessential items for Lash, apart from maybe like Refresher, if you're a fan of like Refresher, going Refresher for multiple ults. But the 3 quintessential items I was talking about is Boundless, Reverb, and Spirit Burn. Not in that order though. Probably go Spirit Burn, Boundless, then Reverb. Now Boundless isn't the greatest specifically on Lash, just because he doesn't have as good of scaling as some other characters, but I personally still think it's good. And it's going to help scale like everything. Like you're going to have a Mystic Shot. It's going to help scale. Oh my God, 7 coming in like Gojo. Sorry, I was listening to commentary. 7 came in like Gojo there. So we're just applying some pressure on blue. If they sit under their Walker and Turtle really hard, it's really hard to take that blue Walker. It's very, very tanky. So you don't want to get too crazy, just like nonstop butting your head against the wall doing it. So just constantly staring at the map, seeing what we need to do. There's a lot of jungle up. As you notice, I actually haven't, I'm putting cooldown on my one because whenever you buy the component, it like makes you do that. If you auto buy it or quick buy it, doesn't really matter because you're going to end up just getting superior cooldown anyway, which gives you CDR and everything. But anyway, what I was saying is, you notice I haven't really done that much jungle in this game. It's just because like once you get that lead, like you should be trying to make like force stuff on the map and make things happen as like one of these roaming characters. You don't really want to just be AFK farming. I say that as I do that right very now, but getting a little bit of hype for the one. Now I remember what happened here. So I got a lot of actually unsecured souls. I have about 1,100 unsecured souls right now, and I instantly go into the mid lane with low HP. This is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. And the reason I did this is, I don't know if you guys saw that, but they turned in the urn and then they were calling for a fight in mid. So I was like, okay, I'll stick around because like at the end of the day, if I die here, my team's gonna win the fight and they're gonna get the souls that they drop. It's not gonna be a big deal. I can maybe help out and I'm Lash, like I might be able to survive anyway. But the Dynamo in the Holiday went to green lane without a wave instead of going to the fight in mid, which is just, I mean, I want to blame them, but it is super troll. Like they're calling for a fight in blue.'re chasing him out. If we have Dynamo ult there, like we just win this fight easily. But instead they went to green, didn't even get the kill and didn't even get the Walker, obviously, because there's no wave there. You're never going to be able to kill a Walker without a wave in that situation. So that ended up being really bad. We donated them a 1K bag. Should have just played it safe and chilled. But you know, that happens sometimes. A little miscommunication. And now the game's even. The game is actually perfectly even now, which is pretty crazy. But I'm dead. So I need some downtime. The reason I'm gonna try and do these more and more often because, in my opinion, that was a really bad Lash ult, by the way. I just tried to use the momentum of the zip line and it ended up kind of screwing me. But look at this combo. It's actually crazy how much damage you can do with it. He is 1 HP. But the reason I want to do these more often is that I actually think they're a really good way to learn how to play a game. Maybe even more like I'm going to make general guides and do those kind of things, and they're super important. But in my opinion, if you really want to get good at a game like this, you should just watch people that are better than you and just try and copy what they do. So hopefully this can help some of you guys in that way. That's what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of streamers and a lot of other like really good players and like, quote unquote pro players. And just trying to copy them because I think that's kind of the best way to learn. At least that's the way I like to. And I think a lot of other people have had success doing that as well. But anyway, this is really troll, just chasing out this Infernus. Speaking of trying to get better, chasing out this Infernus who's 1 HP. I probably should just come back and help them in blue. To be fair, I thought they'd be fine anyway, and they probably were going to be. I just want that. I didn't want that guy to get away with murder. He literally is 1 HP at our Walker and made it all the way to there without even using a zip or anything. Plus I'm Lash, and I thought, you know, maybe if I just use some movement, I'd be able to get it. But we ended up coming back, cleaning up the Apollo. Pretty simple stuff. Get the blue Walker for it. And another thing you do is, like, you can insta-clear waves as Lash like that. Just off the zip, just one it, and the wave is cleared. You can pressure pretty far up, get that wave cleared, and get Prio to go elsewhere. So you can do that, and then use your movement to get away. And I think that is good to do a lot of the time because you're just applying so much pressure on the map. And the way you win games in this video game is through beating the enemies, not by, you know, I guess what could you say? playing Elden Ring on the map, playing World of Warcraft raids on the map. Something you can do as well on these two centers is you can melee one of the centers until it does the sequence where you're gonna have to hit it the last time. And if you just go and hit the other one once and then go back to the other one, it'll be perfectly timed for the second centers. Basically, just copy what I did. It sounds more confusing than it is, but do a little bit of camps. Now we're trying to get our we're trying to secure our souls, but the way we need to secure our souls is by buying Spirit Burn, and we do not have a component to Spirit Burn, so we have to get a 6,400 item. So currently at 1,000 unsecured, so we need to be safe and farm this up so that we can buy our Spirit Burn and secure all these unsecured souls and be super strong. There is a Victor going absolutely crazy in yellow lane right now, and they did grab the urn. There could be more people here. They don't have the zipline pressure necessarily, but it's at least close. And what I mean by that is that the zipline is like they can ride it almost all the way to the urn. But I'm playing safe here. Like I have 1,000 bag. I don't want to drop another 1,000 bag to them. That's just kind of giving away too much at that point. I mean, even one is too much. But so we kind of just play it safe, kind of hit the people that are closer towards our side of the map, and then go back and buy our Spirit Burn. We're not at a healthy enough HP to go to a secret and buy. Maybe we could on ours. Kind of just have to look at the map and see where you have the pressure, you have the power play. I could have actually gone to theirs now because my team is so far pushed up. But at the end of the day, you know, we can fix waves. We'll get blue pushed out. We have our Spirit Burn now. We have all those those souls secured, nice and safe and sound. And yeah, we'll get some more waves pushed out. Waves. At the end of the day, guys, waves. They have a ton of pressure yellow. There's going to be a wave at their guardians. They have the urn. They're hiding the urn at Green Walker. They have 3 dead. This is an easy mid call. Very easy mid call. This is something you can do, especially if you're playing as an M1 carry or have a lot of weapon damage. You can use these little stairs to extend your clip and get infinite ammo by sliding on them. Definitely recommend. It'll increase your DPS a good bit. I mean, I don't do a crazy amount of weapon damage, but I do have my weapon investment. So I hit it decently. Just kind of looking at the map, they still have 3 dead. We saw somebody else in blue recently, so I just went up to try and zone. If I kind of like look towards all the entry points of like where they can even get to the mid boss, and my team is like aware as well, like we can kind of cut off everywhere and make sure that they don't have an option to get in. So that's kind of what I was looking for. Just playing up here because we have the redos and we can play pretty aggressive and get away. It's good dynamo too, but I should be fine there every time, every day of the week. So yeah, because we have that lead and I'm feeling pretty good, nothing too much to worry about. It's basically just Paradox ult that I have to worry about when I ult, and they haven't like bought the necessary items and stuff like that for me. They could also Rem ult, I suppose. Basically what I'm saying is like, do I need Unstoppable or do I not? Like, do I need to rush it? It wouldn't even be a rush at this point, but do I need to get it? And the answer is no. So what I want to get is just more damage, so I can kind of one-shot them off my ult and stuff. So we're going to go into that boundless reverb like I talked about. And again, for Refresher as well is super, super good. Refresher is especially good if you're going to be like, it's a close game and you're fighting around like a really important things on the map, such as the mid boss, or you're defending your base. It's a close game. You're defending your base and it's super back and forth. Like Refresher can really turn those. If we're already like kind of winning the game and owning, like I'd rather just kill them off the first go. You know what I mean? Just kill them, get an ult off, maybe hit 1 or 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, hopefully 6. But no matter how many I hit, like make sure that they die in that first go around of the combo. So it's kind of the idea, in my opinion. I think Refresher isn't as good if like you're ahead, but I mean, you could argue that it is. It's just whatever. But we get the Tank Buster. Tank Buster is actually a really good Lash item as well. You can just like easily flog them and proc Tank Buster when they're full HP from like safe distances, and it's unmissable. And it's just like a lot of times I'll check my damage as Lash at the end of the game and see what did the most, and it's usually Tank Buster. It ends up doing like 10k or 15k. Like something you'll notice is just playing towards the sky. Like you want to be patient as Lash, just play all the way up here. It's very hard for them to deal with you if they don't have the knockdowns and stuff. You just play up there. I get a kill on the Apollo. We look back. We're still in the skybox. We get a nice ult on the ult on the Infernus. He dies as well, and then we kill the Victor, and we win the fight pretty easily. So just play patient up here. Use your 2s. Use your movement. That's why we're going Stamina Mastery as well. We can use that for extra jumps in the air to stay up there. We can bounce off the walls as well, which we should be doing. Something I'm trying to get better at is trying to be more efficient with my stamina, so using the wall bounces when I can instead of just like using a jump that will take a stamina bar. Because the more stamina you have, the better, right? Always will be. just having that option, especially if you don't need to use like your stamina. If you need to use it, like you're in a situation where you're really just trying to get away and you got to use those dashes and all that, then so be it. But now we're super rich. We got the green guardians. The respawn timers are still like not too long, and we're out of rejuves, so we got to be a little bit careful. But if they do over chase here, then it's easily a fight for us. It's kind of what you want. Sometimes you can even bait them in these situations. I end up missing my one here because the ram runs over into this lane and basically just is a sentence for death. But sometimes you can bait them. Like a lot of times teams will like push out after you back up from a siege, and you can just like sit around a corner and look to make a play on them, and that can maybe reopen the siege. Like you can get back in there because you're able to kill one or two, and you have the power play. In these games, it's all about power plays and taking advantages and being proactive with the advantages you have on the map. Too many people play these games to not lose, and that's not how you play, bro. You play to win, and you play to take advantage. Like, it should, when you're playing these types of games, it should pain you to see the enemies doing something, getting away with something that they shouldn't be able to because of a disadvantage that they have. Like, it should pain you. And that's how you'll get good at these games. It should pain you and make it so that all you want to do is punish them for doing that play, for example. An example right here is they push up when we have a huge lead and they have one dead. Like, we got to be punishing them there, right? So that kind of thing. If you kind of think with that thought process, the more and more you play the game, the better you'll get. But anywho, doing some boxes and stuff, making sure our waves stay pushed out. We get a lot of boxes there. I have 12,000 souls, 800 unsecured. Thing is, they still have one dead, 7's nearby. I'm still gonna farm. Another character, you might not be able to do this. Like if I was just playing, I don't know, just take somebody else on my team. If I was just playing like Lady Geist, for example, or Dynamo even, like you probably could not get away with sitting with 12k to spend, 1,000 unsecured, doing their jungle when, it could be sketchy because not much of your team is nearby. Like, in those situations, you probably wouldn't want to do it. But because you're playing Lash, you can get away with it a little bit more. We put the reverb on the 1, of course. Now, right here, I should have gone boundless instead of transcending cooldown. But, I mean, both are good. But boundless is just going to be a little bit more damage. Not a little bit more, a lot more damage in this situation. But we'll get it anyway. We're so close. They killed him in green. I was changing my song. That's my bad. I forgot about the boundless. That's fine. I'll farm it up. So now I'm kind of just like, well, I kind of want to get boundless now, so let me just try and farm that up. And I see this ram is pretty far pushed up. And we one-shot him. I mean, that damage is crazy. Reverb kicked in at the end and basically got him to 1 HP, and then we just hit him with an auto and he died. So now we have our boundless. And now they should really get one out. I said, like, imagine how if I would have one-shot him if I had boundless instead of trans cooldown there. But make sure you're using in-air dashes a lot, guys. So jump dashing instead of dash jumping, like there. You just saw me do it. It's good. It's very good even. And make sure you're sliding as much as possible. Like when you mantle, like we're mantling here, we slide. Do a little bunny hop to get a little extra oomph out of it. Just try and be doing that throughout the game. Practice doing that. It'll speed up your momentum throughout the map a lot. I tried to wall bounce off that wall over there twice and it didn't work. I don't know if that wall is even wall bounceable for some reason. It's quick in and out poke. That's the thing about Lash. You play in the skybox, you get in, you get out. Like a lot of just quick decisions you got to make on this character. And they don't even have to be decisions, honestly. Just quickly doing things. Like quickly 2ing and getting away, going back in, getting out. Like, it doesn't have to be confusing. Do a little bit of jungle. We're kind of just waiting for mid-boss to spawn at this point, getting our jungle on cooldown. Honestly, could have been more efficient in this game for sure. But I love being close. So the mid-boss is spawned, so that means the enemies are probably going to be playing up to contest because their waves are... Okay, their waves aren't that great, but they're decent blue at least, and that's kind of the most important lane for mid-boss because you'll have the zipline to get there quickly. I rotate over, see that they're going on the Infernus. He popped his counterspell, so I look for a nice combo on him. Now, the thing is, I sat in the snail trail. He turned on me and was able to hit his ult, so they got a lot of damage on me. And this is the exact opposite of what I said before. You want to be patient on this character, kind of play towards the skybox, and I kind of went in super early there. They all had their ult still, and I got punished for it, so that was a misplay by me. something we can learn from that is play more patient. If I just sit like up, if I just sit in the sky, then Furnace is never going to threaten me there. But because I went in on him, and even though I did almost one-shot him, me trading my life for him is just not worth at this point. So just play more patient, chill a little bit, wait for the right scenario to go in. And that might seem like nebulous, like, oh, I got to wait for the right scenario. If like you're trying to get better, like, how do I know when that is? It's like, well, once they use a couple volts, maybe they're out in the open and you can get a big ult off. Maybe they're kind of low. Maybe a couple are low. You can get a nice one off. Maybe you finish one of them off. Maybe two. Like, you'll know it when you see it. But just the act of being a little bit more patient is going to help because things are going to naturally progress. Like, they're going to use their abilities, so they're not going to use them on you. So yeah, that kind of thing. Now, the thing is, I could be the one to engage if my build was different. See, I've gone for like 5 damage items instead of like going any more green. If my build was a little bit different, maybe let's say I had Spirit Resist there. Maybe I, instead of building Mystic Reverb, I went like Spellbreaker or, something like that. Then in that situation, I could probably engage and get away with it. And, you just got to play around your build. So knowing that I am going for more of a damage route, got to be patient and play around the fact that I'll be squishy. Pretty simple stuff, but something you should think about in the game. And when you're making builds and everything. So now we have pressure in every lane. Our zip lines are really good right now. Again, just nuking a wave, then rotating over because it's super easy and fast on Lash. Grouping with my team because we turned in the urn. Although at this point, the urn is kind of meaningless at 36 minutes into the game when 70k souls up. Like, we should just be trying to kind of force the issue here. Especially because we already dropped. And by dropped, I mean we got the patron. We killed the first half of the patron. So now all you have to do is kill the patron and the game's over. I tell my team to get in the payer. So this is something you should be doing on Lash. Kind of, if you're communicating with your team, it's very, very good. It's kind of bait them. Use them as bait so that the enemies will play up. We get a nice 3-man ult, almost a 4-man ult, but I think it got counterspelled or something. And they all insta-die. Like, look how fast they all instantly died as I landed on the ground because of how much damage we have, and we win the game off of it. So just calm to your team. Get in the pit or get in the patron area, the base pit, or the mid boss, anything like that. Like, if you can bait them a little bit and they could survive and you can get a nice ult off of it, then it will benefit you greatly. I think we ended up getting second damage. Dynamo did first damage, but we were very close. Max and I kind of ran the map. And that's what you should be doing is blue lane. Blue lane is a very important lane on the map that allows you to easily access both side lanes and have a lot of pressure and roam, affect the map a lot. So if you ever get a lead, like, remember, our green lane was like 0 and 10 at one point. Like, it was not looking good. But through like helping out and rotating around the map, kind of forcing the issue, making the map or the game kind of mucky and muddy so that they can kind of get solo farm and chill. Like, remember that Venator got the Yellow Walker just from solo farming it and while we fought and everything. So yeah, all that kind of thing can really help a lot. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. Like I said, I'm trying to do these more because I think they're very good to learn from. And hopefully I didn't skip explaining anything that I could have. But there's probably some stuff I missed. If you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.